Hello, my fellow viewers and subscribers, and this is Superchocolatemilkshake, and I'm here with a video that, a quick video here, mostly about myself, okay? Well, I might as well talk about this, because you know what? I've always had a bit of an issue with this, and it is just my lack of time management, for a better sense of the word. Let's face it, I've always had a bit of a trouble with trying to manage myself and my time, and trying to keep most of my ideas and thoughts straight, and and trying to prevent myself from getting distracted. If I had to say anything, this is a big problem with ADHD in general, is that usually you tend to get distracted a lot, and you never really seem to manage to remember to keep focus on anything. And that's kind of a big problem with ADHD, or at least one of the main problems with it. Part of it's just because sometimes the thoughts fly through your head so quickly, like you get 1,000 thoughts a day. And more than likely, you're probably going to remember 5 of them. And even then, that's probably the maximum number. And you're probably never going to recall more than 2 within a week. So that's kind of how it usually goes. And that's kind of the problem with me too, it's like I'm trying to figure out myself and my life and trying to get myself straight here. And at the same time, it's like I keep getting myself distracted. I keep sidetracking myself, and sometimes I end up sinking my time into other things that I really don't want to. And you know what? Sometimes it happens because of other external factors, like my job, for example. I end up sinking more time in my job because, well, things happen that are out of my control, and I can't really necessarily control what's going to happen at my job. So, I have to deal with the consequences of that. And, then of course there's also times when my mom wants to do things with me, my sisters want to do things with me, and then it's like, it becomes a bit more of a harder balance between it, trying to go like, okay, there are the things that I want to do, the things that I need to do, the things that I have to do. And then of course there's the things that everybody else wants me to do, and then of course it just becomes even more so of a mess. I know that there are some people out there who might say, oh yeah, school was supposed to get you prepped up for that, but look, truth be told, school didn't do anything like that for me, really, truth be told. Look, if I had to say anything, the reason why I'd say school didn't do anything like that for me, primarily, is mostly due to the fact that, well, the school is always usually rigid, it's structured, it always followed the exact same pattern, no matter which way you look at it. Every time you hear the bell ring, you go to your next class, that sort of thing. How is that preparing you for better time management? That's one thing I've always kind of wondered. But then, of course, also, again, this is part of the reason why I ended up having to scrap the April Fool's Day video, which I was so excited to do, and I was looking forward to doing it. But there is no way that I'm going to be able to get most of the things that I wanted to get done within the time frame that I have, because I actually was going to start recording on Saturday, and then I kind of came to the realization that 4 days, including the fact that half of those days are going to be used at work, is just not enough time to finish up the video. And, and most of the edits that I'm going to be doing with it. And, of course, not to mention, I was also planning on some bonus thing with it, too, but that's also going to end up being sidelined for now until next year, because, again, I don't have anything prepared, and I should have had things prepared. I should have had the footage recorded about at the beginning of this month, in fact, and then should have had footage prepared. And then, of course, I could have prepared it throughout the entirety of the month. And then, of course, I would have had it ready to upload like this weekend, or at least the weekend of recording this anyway. And that's the thing that bothers me, I just hate myself about this. I end up doing so many different things that honestly, I kind of lose track of what I'm trying to currently do. And because of that, I end up getting distracted, because I distract myself. Because I just do too many things, I guess. Like, look, it's not your guys' fault, okay? I don't want to blame anyone but myself, okay? Because, what? Even when I try to keep myself on track, I can't. Like, if there's a reason why I have, 6 dozen tabs open on my browser at a time. And honestly, I really should only have like maybe half? No. A third? No. Nay. Maybe about 7/10 of them open, because most of them are probably going to be videos that I'm probably not going to watch again for a while, and then I forgot about, because I was interested in watching them, and then after a while it's like, yeah, well, I'll watch it later, and then I never get to it. Ever. You know? It's kind of the biggest problem with myself, is that I never seem to keep myself focused on anything that I want to do, and that I need to do, and that's probably part of the reason why I never get anything done. I mostly blame myself here, basically. But, you know, it's not like it doesn't help that I have other things too. I don't really have people that encourage me well enough, you know, to keep doing some of the things that I want to do, which doesn't help much. And I mean, most everybody kind of looks at me disapprovingly whenever I try to do something that I want to do. And I mean, okay, maybe that's not 100% true, but most of it is true, you know? And it also doesn't really necessarily help when I do work for, like my dad, and he doesn't give me proper credit, you know? I mean, like, sure, he'll say credit goes to my son, but he never really says anything about, oh yeah, also please check out the Superchocolatemilkshake channel. That's my son's channel. He did some of the filming for this video, you know? I mean, like, he doesn't really necessarily shout me out like that. He just says, oh yeah, this is all my son's work. And he never bothered linking my channel either, despite the fact that I had his channel linked on my channel since almost day one of his channel's inception, you know? Which was the 7-Time Wyoming channel. Please don't go harassing him. That's also part of the reason why. But I unlinked him of recent and got rid of one of his videos on my channel. So if you haven't noticed, yes, I am down one video. The reason why I got rid of it was because he decided to go out of his way to replace the logo that I spent a little bit of time on, that I drew out for him because he requested me to, for his channel. He replaced it with a logo that was made entirely out of AI. You know, he might as well just walked up and said, I'm sorry, son, the bot is better than you. Like, honestly, this makes me mad. It makes me infuriated, because, like, how am I supposed to react to this? Like, if it was another artist, you know what? Fine. Like, I know I would have been a little bit stung about that, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not afraid to admit that there's other artists out there that are better than me. There are other YouTubers better than me. Other monologuers, other voice actors, whatever. There are people that are probably better than me. I'm not afraid to admit to that. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, sheesh. Why did you do this? I mean, this hurts. It hurts a lot. But, you know, I guess it kind of makes the words that still ring in my head that he told me one night. I mean, okay, this was a long time ago in 2020, but it still rings in my head valid today. And unfortunately, what he just did of recent doesn't make it bring any less inside my head. 2020, basically, I entered the GMTK Game Jam. This was shortly after losing my job at the hotel, which, you know, was a job that I actually did kind of like. But some of you probably know how that went. I released a game that was not very good. It didn't work with its first iteration, and the second iteration crashed a lot. But still, it was something that I made, and something that I made rather quickly, and it worked fine enough for what it was. I've learned quite a bit of it, and honestly, I ended up with a lot of experience from just that game alone. So I guess I do owe a lot to this game is not broken, despite how broken it actually was. But, look, when he found out about that, I know it was like late at one night, and I was working on another project too. I think I was working on like Diagnosis Psychosis, trying to get that game done and polish up just a bit more. He was wondering why I was still up late. And then, of course, I was like, yeah, and I'm also prepping up for a jam that I joined, a game jam, where I can develop games. And then he just looked at me and said this: I have no faith in what you do. Yeah, he might as well just taken a knife and stabbed it in my heart. I mean, granted, I get it. I was unemployed at the time, but you know what? I was trying to take a chance. And you know, what's even worse was that I was having to go around a lot of the things that he had set up just to prevent me from being on YouTube and Itch primarily, because he didn't want me on those sites because, oh yeah, it's game related, it's going to distract my son. Oh yeah, YouTube, that's going to distract him. And you know, sure, I don't get the I mean, sure, I can understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, like, honestly, I try to run this channel. I want to upload videos as frequently as I possibly can to you guys, and keeping me away from that doesn't really necessarily help much. And you know, Itch basically is a game platform that I can also upload games to as well, and maybe make some money off of as well. And that's something that I don't think he fully realized either, which means that basically keeping me from Itch means that he was basically keeping me from what I could have built as a stable career. And, you know, I don't think he really necessarily realizes how much he's hurting me and how much he's hurt me with that. Sure, there are things that he's done that have helped me in the past, but, you know, again, still doesn't necessarily mean that the things that hurt still linger, because they still do. You know, I'm pretty sure if there's some people out there who are probably going to be like remembering me in 2023 saying that I wanted to move out of the house. This is part of the reason why. I just wanted to get away from all that. I want to be free. I want to be different. I don't want to live the cycle of wake up, go to work, come back home, you know? I want to do more with my life and something different. But unfortunately, I can't do that without the money. And there's the issue is that really, unfortunately, that's kind of the thing. It's like I'm associating the money with freedom, and really it shouldn't be like that at all. I mean, freedom should be associated with freedom. It shouldn't be associated with money. It shouldn't be associated with pay or payroll or anything like that, or rent or anything like that. It should be associated with just doing the things that you want to do whenever you want to do them. And that's what I think we should be atoning to and working towards. But it doesn't feel like we've managed to accomplish any of that for any reason. Like, you gotta work hard to do it, but, you know, they never really define how hard you need to work. And that's where, unfortunately, nobody stopped to draw the line or realized where the line should have been drawn, because now you gotta work overtime in order to make a decent paycheck. And guess what? Overtime is getting harder and harder to achieve now these days. Considering that, well, at McDonald's, we've slowed down so much that honestly, our labors are just insane right now. And honestly, they can't keep people. So no, I can't work overtime there. That's ridiculous. Should I try to get another job? Well, no, I probably couldn't, because unfortunately right now there are more people looking for jobs than places that are actually hiring. So what am I supposed to do here? How am I supposed to go forward? What am I supposed to do to get my own freedom back, or my own life back, or try to get control over my life? And maybe be able to make it so that I can make my own plans and do my own things and have my own schedule so that I can fix some of these things around it. And you know what? Even if it doesn't work out perfectly, at least I can figure it out. You know, I mean, what do I do about this? I feel like I'm just a piece in society that either was completely and totally broken and they're just trying to force me into a certain role, or I am being forced into a spot where I shouldn't be, and I am completely and totally fine. It's the rest of society that's broken, because they're just trying to put me into a place that I don't belong, you know? And I mean, that's like the biggest issue right there. That's something that's always kept me awake at night, is that I've always spent time wondering, am I broken, or is it the rest of the society that's broken? Is it the rest of everything else? Is it just like what we got set up for, you know? I mean, that's the thing I absolutely hate. Am I doomed to work back drive at a McDonald's forever? I really don't want to. I really don't think so. Look, even if there's a lot of people out there who will know me as the voice of McDonald's, I have to say that's not a very flattering image. It's not a very flattering image at all for me. I hate that, because it defines me. It locks me into that one position, and I can't seem to get anywhere else. And it sucks too, because I'm scared to put down, oh yeah, I worked at McDonald's for quite some time on my resume, because that's not a very respectable job. It's a bottom of a barrel job. It's the kind of job that you would get if, you know, like you were high school student and you're trying to save up money for college, you know? That's not a job for like a fully functioning adult to have. And no, climbing up the corporate ladder would make no sense to me because I'm going to end up doing the things that I don't want to do, end up having more stress on my life and more time taken away from me. And pretty much for the same amount of pay that I'm currently getting now. Okay, maybe outside of the hate of the crew and how much they disrespect me, but you know, that's neither here nor there. It's still neither here nor there. Like, seriously, there's no point in doing it anymore. They wonder why job loyalty is dead. Well, take a look. Take an actual freaking look at what's going on with most people who are loyal with their jobs, and you'll see what's exactly happening. Man, you know, it's kind of sad that work used to be where you had the right to you could reserve your right to say no, and you reserved your right to ask or demand for a better wage, you know? That's the difference between slavery and work. Slavery, you're forced into the whole scenario without any second questions or whatever. And if you do, well, guess what? We'll shoot you or we'll fire you. We'll find some way to kill you, you know? And, you know, work, you have your right to stand your ground, stand up firm, say no, tell these employers where to put it, where the sun don't shine. And, you know, that's the thing that we really need to start thinking about is workmen's rights. You know, unionize, you know, as much as some people want to fear that, or the employers fear that, and they try to make us fear unions, you know, the thing is that really unions are one of the final boundaries in between us and the employer, you know? It's one of the things that prevent the employer from doing whatever the frick they want with us, preventing them from not paying us, because, you know, if they were to stop paying us, well, guess what? We'll probably frickin' unionize anyway. You know? We will all get together and go like, hey, this isn't right, this isn't fair, we need to be paid. See, that's the thing. Like, they can't do much without us. Even if they want to replace us with robots. But that's neither here nor there. It kind of devolved into a whole workman's rights type of thing, which is a whole political situation that, honestly, I didn't want to get into. And honestly, I don't really want to break into. Look, I want to say this at the end of the day. I'm still a person. I still have hopes. I have aspirations. I have dreams. And the way it feels like in our modern day society is that if I want to be successful or if I want to do anything with my life, I need to give them all up. Because, oh yeah, today's society doesn't pay for any of that. And they don't want to pay for any of that. They don't want to dish out a little bit of cash for that, you know? Despite the fact that there are some people out there who are individual who will do that, you know? There are some people who will go out of their way to help pay you, and, you know, I mean, again, that's kind of the issue there. And I get it. Like, I am happy that there are some people out there who are willing to support other people out there who try to do their own creative endeavors and such. And honestly, more power to you, folks. Please, keep doing what you're doing. Even if it's not really necessarily good for your bank accounts, I am happy that you're doing that kind of stuff. I would kill to be in your position right now. Because, honestly, right now, I wish I could just afford to move out of the house and, you know, do what I would actually like to do without fear of judgment or recompense. You know, like maybe actually buying some merch from Glitch so that I can support some of their shows. Because I really want to support Knights of Guinevere. And I know that the last episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is going to be coming out sometime in June, which I know is quite the wait, but hey, look, I've waited longer. So that's neither here nor there. And, you know, like, there's also their next show that I also kind of want to support too, and I kind of want to watch, but that's neither here nor there. The real truth is that, you know, I do kind of also want to see support too, but you know what? I don't want to ask for it blindly. I don't want to ask for it without giving anybody nothing in return, you know? And, you know, that's my problem. It's like, what do I have to give to these people for paying me, you know? That's the thing. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about that either, because I don't have any fully functioning games out there yet. And any games that are pretty much finished, or games that I would consider myself proud of yet. These YouTube videos alone, I don't think justify it. And, of course, I don't think having any bloopers of these YouTube videos are going to justify it either. And see, that's the thing about it, too. I mean, I don't think I necessarily want to try my hand at merch because I don't really necessarily feel like I don't think merchandising is really the best option for me, especially with some of the characters that I draw who are very abstract and probably hard to make merchandise with. And honestly, I don't really necessarily want to sell my characters like that because I do it for the craft. I do it for the art. I don't do it for the money. I want to do it for, like the sake of doing it. If I could just do it for free and exist, I'd be perfectly happy with that. I don't care if people wouldn't want to come in and watch it. I wouldn't care if some people don't want to do anything with it at all, or, don't pay no mind to it. As long as I'm creative and just doing it freely without any judgment or recompense whatsoever, I'd be happy for that. And, being able to do it without having to work the full-time job, without having to do all that kind of stuff, okay? I mean, that's kind of what I really want to do. I want to keep doing more videos on YouTube that are experimental and crazy and out there and wacky and wild. I kind of want to keep doing more games that, maybe push the envelope or, tell the stories that I want to tell. And, maybe introduce the world to some of the characters. I want to make comics that, make people think and do stuff with their lives, I mean, it's bad enough that I have like 2 comics already thought up inside my head. The one with the detective gun agency and the other one actually dealing with a fast food chain. And honestly, I kind of want to do the fast food chain first though, because it might be an easier, smaller comic to do. And it's already pretty much formulated inside my head. I mean, it's already a full thing, but that's neither here nor there. Like, really, I kind of wanted to do that just to make jokes and have fun with the fast food thing, but that's neither here nor there. I'm bunny trailing again. Like, I want to do that without fear of losing my job and losing my financial support and whatever. Because, I just kind of want to live freely, That's all I really want to do. It's the primary goal. It's the primary thing that keeps me going, keeps me awake at night, keeps me thinking. Because, if I was able to do that, then you know what? Maybe I might be able to get most of the ideas out of my head. And you know what? If I was able to do that and make a little bit of money off of that, then maybe I might try to make other people's livelihoods a little bit better too. By maybe hiring them up, teaching them some of these skills so that they can build a skill set for their own futures. And maybe perhaps create some things of their own so that they too can also make money off of it. That sort of thing. And learn to live lives as freely as I can do, And that's what I think I really want, is the freedom at the end of the day. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below. And hey, if you're new here, please be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. And I'll see you all in the next video. This is Superchocolatemilkshake signing off.